Okay, so come with us to Casper's first cross-country lesson. This is quite a long video, bear with me, but if you're following on with Casper's little story from the day dot that I got him, you're probably going to want to watch this. So as you guys know, Casper has hunted, but when I say hunting is completely different to going out on a cross-country course on your own, I mean it. So he was very confused and very, very green. So he pops that little log first, the little log, and then around the back of this bush, what you can't see is a blue like roll top. It's a blue and white stripy roll top. He was not sure about this. We had a little bit of a tussle, but I also allowed him enough time to figure it out. There was a couple of times where I nearly came out of the front door. You can't really see him jump it because it is behind the hedge, but I think in a moment he does just pop over it. There we go. It's not pretty. In fact, not much of this lesson is pretty, but it's his first little cross-country lesson. So around here is just a little pheasant feeder in the back here. I thought he was going to jump it, and then he skidded to a halt. What I shouldn't have done here is this. Why did I give up so soon and turn him around? What is wrong with me? He could have stepped over it. Anyway, I did turn him around, bad decision by me, and then he popped over it nicely, thank God. Next up, we come for a little trot down, and this is to a bright blue palisade. Can't really see it, it's kind of where this tree is. He does jump this after a little bit of encouragement, and he does kind of cat leap it. So in a moment he will cat leap it. 3, 2, 1, boom! But that was good, we didn't turn around, we didn't turn a circle, he went over it eventually, which was very good. And then this was coming up to the water. Oh no, I lied, there's a little log here as well. Did quite well at that, only a slight tussle. And then we had a little walk down to the water complex, which he has not seen a proper water complex before. He has passed over little streams and puddles, but he's definitely not seen this much water. So I was pretty happy with how bold he went in there, and he felt good, so I thought I'd push him up into a trot. And I think he quite enjoyed it in there, to be honest. So I'm very happy with that one. That was the first little round we did of the day. Next up, we have the next few jumps. So we went back through the water. I did trot him up to it, then I thought I'll just bring him back down to a walk. And then he went into it quite nicely, trotted him out, and then there was a white log here. This took him by surprise, a little bit of a tussle, bit of encouragement, and then he did sort of ping, kind of, over it. And then we did the log the other way, which he had done once before, so he was quite happy with that. Then we did a little pheasant feeder here. That was his first time jumping that, so I was quite happy with that. He went over that without too many problems. We filled in the sky for a little bit. Nice clouds, lovely jubbly. Not sure what's going on there. I did pop over another small pheasant feeder there, and then I think I come round and I do the black tyres back towards us here on the right hand side, those little tyres. So he had a little bit of a baby wobble coming up to these, but they were sort of back towards his friends, so he was like, okie dokie, I got this. So bless his little heart, popped the tyres quite nicely. We did kind of stay in trot because the grass was quite slippy. I didn't want him cantering around corners or cantering and running out. Up the slope, over the little mini log and down the slope, which he finds very, very hard. And then we also go back into the water. We trotted into it that time, which was very happy. And then a little left turn over a small palisade. And then after the palisade, what you can't really see is that we go down to the bottom, down a ramp into a sunken road, and then we do a little step up and out of the sunken road, going towards that gate at the back, which literally no bother at all for him. Okay, what do we have after this? Okay, so we're going to go over the little log, which is a nice little starter fence, and then as far as I'm aware, we go around the back. And this is his first time coming up through the little channel. I don't know what you call it, like the Derby Bank or something. So through these hedges, you go up a step. He'll probably just fall up it, I think. Yeah, he kind of just steps up it. And then over a log on the bank, and then back down the bank. And I was surprised he did that, so I was very, very happy with him. And then we do a big sweep and turn back to the ditch. And can I just say, it was not a very inviting ditch for his first proper ditch. Yes, he has done dikes out on hunting, but once again, it's a very different scenario. So I just try him up to the ditch, I try look up as much as I can, I'm not a fan, and he's like, what the chuff is that, Lauren? Jesus wept. And I'm like, no, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, oh my God! And then he did it, and he was very proud of himself, and I was very proud of him. And I think we just turn back and we do the ditch a couple of times here, a big pat for little Gaspy. So just do a nice easy turn, get him straight, pop him up into trot and go at the ditch again, and he was a bit unsure, but much better that time. And then I think we turn around again, and this is where we have a little bit of a hiccup. So now he's confident with the ditch. We thought, right, we'll trot him over the ditch and then just trot him to the little mini house on the other side. But guess who was riding like an absolute sack of spuds? Me, Lauren. I was riding like a sack of spuds, and I didn't really tell him what to do. So the poor horse was like, Lauren, you literally just rammed me into a random object. But we came back around, and what I thought I would do would be to do the ditch again rather than just put him at the house. So we'll do the ditch to start with, see if we can get him into flow, and then try and do the little skinny house again. The little skinny house was a bit daunting, it had the white paint on it, but he popped the ditch nicely. I had to do big, wide baby hands, and then he popped the little house. So I was very, very proud of him at that point. And then Lauren got a little bit excited, and I was like, you know what, we'll do that back. So we come back and we do the house to the ditch. But then what the instructor did not tell me to do was to jump the house on the other side. But Casper kind of looked at it. So he did the little house, he did the ditch, he had a little nap to the friends, and then I just put him at the other house. And my instructor was like, Lauren, what are you doing? I was like, I don't know, but he did it well. And she was like, yep, fair enough, absolutely fine. And this is where we start doing the bigger log on the bank. So up the bank, over the log, down the bank at the other side. We have slight steering issues, the ground was pretty slippy. And then this is when we went through the hedges again, and we went over the log, sort of up the mound, over the log, and then there's a step down at the other side. This was quite a big ask for baby, but he absolutely nailed it. Down the step, on the other side, and then we hung a right. And then I was like, right, let's do a little bit of a canter. Let's get a bit of forward motion going. I didn't didn't want to canter around turns as such, but while we had a bit of space, just did a few strides canter. He had a little bit of a spook at one of the fences there. And then we came round back to the little houses. So we did the little skinny house, good baby, over the ditch, absolutely nailed it, to the next skinny house, bosh, absolute top eventer in the making. At the start of this next clip, you don't see it, he actually did a jump into a sunken road. So there was like a log off a drop, nailed it. Anyway, we didn't get that on recording. Over the little palisade, had a little canter away, which was nice. I was trying to get him to do a little bit more canter work. Cantered him up around the top to the blue roll top, which is what he had troubles with at the start of the lesson. And we just brought him back down to trots, but made sure I was riding him forward, and he popped it first time, which was lovely. And then we did a little mini course around the edge of the field. So I just popped a little pheasant feeder in this corner, 3, 2, 1, there. And he was just offering canter now and then, and I was allowing him to have a little canter if he offered it. Over another pheasant feeder there, and then another little canter, and went up and down a mound behind this mound. Oh, I jumped something else there as well. I think there was a log. Jumped something else there. But wait for it, guys. Look what we get up to here. We come around the back of the mound. Casper's feeling good. He's actually in a canter. We keep the canter going. We're eyeing up a fence. We're going for the fence. Hey! And a little canter over this last log just to make sure he's happy. He finished so much better than he started. I'm so proud of that boy.